Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, especially if this reading resonates with you, and that way you won't miss any of the weekly tarot readings that we do for your sign here on the channel. Okay, so let's just get into it. What is the message coming through for Libra this week? What is your situation? What is it that you need to know? What is on your mind? What has brought you to my channel today? Let's find out. And the first card today, we have that pesky Eight of Swords. So I feel like there is some kind of mental blockage this week. I feel like there's some issue mentally that you're trying to work past. There's some kind of recurring pattern of thoughts, of tendencies to kind of get in your own way, or you're having some sort of difficulty figuring this thing out on the mental, logical plane. Right? But let's put that card into some context and see what else might be going on. We're going to lay out our Dove and Serpent spread. That is going to include this confirmation card, bonus card, mystery card. We're going to leave that right here, and we're not going to look at that until the very end. We're going to see how that might tie the reading together or, give us the confirmation that we're looking for. All right. So let's just get into it. We see some earth, we see some fire, some water, some swords, a little more earth, couple of majors. Seems like a fairly balanced situation. It feels like you're very much in tune with all of the forces that are involved. A lot of the energy here seems very balanced to me. But there is this Eight of Swords issue, which I think, again, is something that you're having trouble sorting out in your mind. There's something that you're trying to figure out, but it's just not becoming clear yet. And it's to the point I think that you're starting to get just kind of hectic and chaotic in your thinking. It seems like it's really complex, and the more you think about it, the more complicated it seems. And a lot of this, I think, is just the simple fact of thinking of it over and over again, trying to figure this thing out, is creating a more complex web of thoughts, right? So it's kind of falling back on itself. It's kind of looping back on itself and creating this kind of jumble, right? So I feel like this is a situation that is maybe not as complex as you're making it out to be. There may be a simple, straightforward solution, but I think that you're so involved in it and you're so like deep in this thinking that it's starting to look more and more complicated, more and more kind of impossible to get out of, right? And I see that you're starting to feel a little bit of this Hanged Man energy, to be honest with you. It feels like because there's this inability to really sort things out and to find that clear solution, and looking at some of these other cards just really quickly, I don't see that there really is a clear solution, a straightforward, like just kind of one flash of an idea that's going to come to you that's going to get you out of this. But I think that all of this overthinking that you're doing now, this kind of mental prison, this like web really of these thoughts that you're having, and this effort, this continual effort to sort out this mess is just making it kind of worse. It's like when you're trying to untangle a knot and you just end up with a big ball of wires, right? Or whatever, rope. And that is giving you this Hanged Man feeling, almost like this is an impossible situation that you're kind of stuck now. Right? I feel with all of this mental effort, things are getting more and more tangled, and you're starting to feel just really stuck in this situation, almost like you're unable to move, you're unable to act, primarily because you don't really know which way is up and which way is down at this point, right? So it does seem to me like there's a little bit of this feeling like you're kind of accepting the inevitability of this. You're accepting the fact that it's just, you're not going to figure it out. You're stuck here. This is your life now, and I don't think it needs to be that dire just yet. I think there is a solution to get out of this kind of this tangle that you're in. But it may not be just that flash of insight. It may not be that simple answer that you're looking for. Okay, now we're going to jump ahead to this Hermit card because I do think that the answers will come to you once you withdraw from the situation a little bit. you're so enmeshed, you're so wrapped up in trying to figure this thing out that you're tangled up in this web, right? And you're not able to see which way is up. You're not able to see the way forward. So I think what the tarot is suggesting this week is for you to turn away from the issue. Stop thinking about it. Divert your attention to something else. Take your mind off of things, right? Take a break from whatever this situation is, whatever you're trying to figure out, and do something else. Go relax, go meditate, go watch a movie, go read a book. Just do something else to occupy your mind so that when you do come back to this issue, you'll have a kind of a fresh start with it, right? So we see the Hermit here as really the only way forward in this right now is not to continue with this thinking and working so hard to figure out this situation, but to take a step back. It's really the only way that this is going to disentangle, right? The only way that you're going to straighten this thing out is to take this step back, withdraw from the situation, take a time out, essentially, right? And regroup, recenter yourself, reground yourself, right? Make sure you can feel the ground beneath you. Make sure you can orient yourself, right? Because the Hanged Man is a lot of disorientation here. There's a lot of kind of not knowing where you're at, not knowing really what is going on, or there's so many different feelings about this. There are so many different scenarios, perhaps, or solutions that you're trying to think through that it's really got you turned around. Okay. And definitely the way forward this week, right, presently, is to take a step back, take that time out. Okay. But what is this situation regarding? Well, we see here right next to each other a couple of fives. A couple of fives here. So there's the Five of Cups, which I think is some sort of emotional upset. I think there's been some sort of development or some sort of turmoil or friction or conflict in your emotional life. So this could be a recent breakup. It could be that your relationship is kind of on the rocks now, or that there was something there in that relationship that has now led you to this kind of over analytical mind, this really overthinking, this really, you're complicating things with all of this mental energy. So something happened in the relationship. Could be a breakup. It could be that you were lied to or betrayed in some way, right? Because we have the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups. So this is, definitely it feels like it was a blow to you. So that could be in the form of maybe an unexpected breakup, a shocking discovery, realizing that you were lied to or betrayed in some way, or that you discovered something within the relationship or about your partner that came as a bit of a blow, it came as a shock, right? And it shocked you mentally, right, with this kind of disbelief or shock about what this revelation was, what this discovery was. But it was also a blow to your emotions. You feel very disappointed that this is taking place. You feel it in your heart, And I think that this is kind of the origin of the situation. I think this is what is leading you to this Eight of Swords and this Hanged Man state. With now you're trying to sort this out in your mind. You're trying to figure out why this happened, what this means, what it means for the relationship, what it means for the future. You're trying to sort out why, the who, what, where, when, and why, right? All of these details that are going through your mind is creating this complicated web that now you're kind of unsure where you stand, how you should feel. You're unsure what to do, where to go, how to move. You're in this kind of suspended state. You're in this state of disbelief, this state of shock. And you don't really know which way is up at this point. That's what I'm feeling with these cards here. But as much as the tarot likes to explain where we are and how we got here, the tarot never fails to give us at least a little bit of hope or a little bit of a glimpse into a possible future and how to possibly get to that possible future, right? And that I really feel is through this Hanged Man. It's through this taking a break maybe from the relationship, taking a step back, taking your mind off of it, go do something with your friends, just go do something else other than dwell on this situation, this event, this set of circumstances. Go spend some time away from this relationship, this situation. Okay? And I think the way forward will become more clear as you detach a little bit from the situation. You can settle your mind, you can settle your emotions, and then you can really approach it with a fresh mind, a clear mind, and you'll be able to advance into the future, right? To figure out where you should go to get out of this Hanged Man state. Because this Hanged Man, really, if you look, the card, they're not going anywhere, right? They're stuck here. And I think as long as you're in this Eight of Swords mode, this Hanged Man's going to be stuck there, right? And, little did the Hanged Man realize that they could just take one of these swords and cut the ropes and be freed from this position, right? But when you're all mixed up in this complicated web, it's not easy to see that. So taking this step back and embracing this hermit energy is going to give you a little bit of clarity that you need in order to get through the situation, okay? Now, at the bottom of the spread, underneath it all, we see wealth. We see the 10 of discs, coins, pentacles, whatever you want to call them. So this is something underneath the surface. I think what this is kind of suggesting is that the situation here that you're in is in some ways jeopardizing your foundation, jeopardizing your security. It's jeopardizing maybe your physical, mental, emotional well-being, right? Because the 10 of discs here is about, having that great support system, having that wealth of physical vitality, emotional well-being, and the mental fortitude, the mental strength, tranquility. And so I feel like this situation is really affecting a lot of different aspects of you. Not just like your living situation, not just upsetting you emotionally. It's jeopardizing your entire foundation of well-being, right? So it seems like it is a pretty serious thing, or at least you're regarding it as a serious thing. Now, I don't know what has happened. I really do hope to God that I'm wrong, that this is not resonating with you. But I feel strongly that something, especially with these two fives, 5 of Swords and the 5 of Cups, I feel like something happened recently that's got you upset, that's got you questioning things, that's got you uncertain about the future, uncertain about where you stand, uncertain what to even do or what is really going on, and you're in this Hanged Man state. You're unable to act, you're unable to really to orient yourself, right? And I think the whole situation is shaking you at your core, at your foundation a little bit. Again, not only with physical health and well-being, but emotional and mental states as well. Okay, and yet another reason why the Path of the Dove here accumulates and directs all the energy to this Hermit card. And this is saying, just get out of there for a minute. Take a step back. Disengage, pull back, pull away. Withdraw. So that you can reorient yourself. You can center yourself, ground yourself, and get a fresh perspective, right? Go get a bird's eye view somewhere, right? But first, turn away, like this hermit figure is doing, turning away. Do something else for a while. Focus on something else for a moment, for a day or two, for a week or two, however long, until you start to feel that inner clarity. You feel that your emotions, your mind starting to settle out. You get a little bit of peace. And then you can turn back to the situation and try to look at it again. See what's going on. See what the facts are. See how you feel. See what things really do look like and where you should go from here. Okay. So with that, let's turn over to the path of the serpent now, because we see some pretty interesting cards over here. The first one that we see is representing your general energy. This is kind of your overall vibe lately. And this is a Nine of Cups. This is a card that should be happiness, fulfillment. You are doing everything in your life to bring you joy, right? Everything that you're doing, everything that you're focused on is bringing you joy and happiness and fulfillment and pleasure. You're really working towards that. But why is this card here right now? Because of all of this situation that we have going on, I don't think your general energy is all that cheerful and happy and joyous at the moment. I think you're overall a pretty cheerful person most of the time, but not today, not right now. I don't feel that. So I think this is an important factor to realize what this situation is really doing to you, right? If this situation is taking away from your feeling of happiness and satisfaction and joy and pleasure and temporarily at least changing that general energy about you, that kind of cheerful, happy, generous kind of personality that you have, right? That energy, that kind of happy energy that you usually have. This situation is taking away from that. Okay? And that's just something to recognize, something to be aware of, that you're not your usual self right now. And again, I think the Hermit card is going to be really the only way forward to be able to see this objectively, to get that more of a bird's eye view, and to really come to that awareness that the situation is affecting you that much. Okay? You're not your usual self right now. You're not your usual self. And that's just something to acknowledge, I think. Something to be aware of. And maybe you're not your usual self in this relationship in general. Maybe even before this thing happened, you've been a different person. You haven't been your typical happy, outgoing, friendly, cheerful, joyous self. But maybe it is this situation that is going to allow you to recognize how much this relationship or this situation, again, I don't know if this is a romantic situation. I feel like it is. But it could be a close friend or a family member too. It's someone that you have a close emotional connection with, right? So first on the list, survey says probably a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to be. But you're not your usual self. And I think this is important to recognize. Now, the relationship that you have with this person, the nature of that relationship, how you relate to that person, I feel like it's a lot of kind of, it's really like kind of roller coaster, like it's really hot and cold, it's really intense, but for short periods of time, it's like really good, it's almost manic. And then it'll go the other way, and it'll just be kind of miserable, right? So we get the Eight of Wands here, and this is, again, this is how you relate to this person. This is what the general energy of that relationship, right? This is all quickness, swift energy, this rapid fire, this kind of lightning bolt stuff. But it's not long lasting. It's a flash, and then it's gone, and it's darkness again. So I think this is emblematic of the relationship itself as a whole. Not just now with this situation with all these cards here, but in general, I think this is a kind of an on-again, off-again, hot and cold, maybe, relationship, or a very kind of manic and not so manic relationship. I feel like that's the energy. Like I feel like when it's good, it's really good. You guys are just riding really high. A lot of passion, a lot of intensity, a lot of energy. But pretty soon, pretty quickly, that changes. And it sinks really, really low. really, really low. Okay. And again, I hope this is not resonating with you. Leave me a comment and let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you feel. Please hit the like button, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. But is this kind of how the relationship is? Is it kind of this up and down, hot and cold kind of relationship? Maybe not on again, off again, because I feel like the two of you really do kind of stick together. Right? But I feel like that energy is up and down, hot and cold, manic, and then the other way. So that, again, something just to be aware of. Something to be aware of, especially while you're in this hermit mode. To take all of this in. See what it means to you. And see if how this is affecting you at your foundations, at your core. Who you are, your security, your safety, your stability, the wealth of love and joy and happiness and physical vitality, mental and emotional well-being. See how this relationship in general is affecting you, but then also see how this particular incident, this rather tumultuous 5 event, how this is affecting you. And you're going to do all that in this hermit mode. You need to take a little bit of time. Take a step back. Take a break. So you can reassess. Okay. And now we're going to move on to another card here. It's a very strong card. In fact, the key word is strength for the 9 of Wands. This is in the position of your fears, concerns, worries, something that you have to overcome this week. And I don't know really, again, what this card is doing in this position, because this card is telling me that you have a very strong resolve. You have a lot of integrity. You always try to make sure that your actions, that your words, that your thoughts in the external world really harmonize and match with who you are as a person, with how you feel, right? Your head and your heart are usually very connected. And that gives you strength. That gives you a lot of strength of purpose, a lot of resolve, a lot of willpower, a lot of integrity in your character. So this card in the position here of this kind of fear, worry, or this obstacle, this is telling me that maybe you don't feel like you are this person right now. Maybe you feel like you've had a little bit of a disconnection between your head and your heart, between your thoughts, words, and deeds in the external world, and your feelings, your purpose, your kind of moral compass, your personal ethics on the internal side. So this could be an ideal of what you want to get back to. You want to get back to feeling this strength of character, this integrity, right? I think that you are a strong individualist. I think that you're generally a cheerful, happy, joyous person. Friendly, generous, loving, very expressive. But I don't feel you are right now. I feel like something has changed about you right now. And I think that you're aware of that. I think that there is this sense of disconnection between your head and your heart. Okay. Something else to be aware of and something to explore during this hermit phase of the situation, okay? Now the final card on the path of the Serpent is, related to this 10 of Pentacles, right? Your foundation, the wealth and abundance of the physical security, physical vitality, your emotional and mental fortitude, strength, and peace and calm and well-being. It's an Earth card. Now the end of the path of the Serpent is an Earth card also. It's a 3 of Pentacles. And this is showing me that, and let me point out as well that the Hermit is an earth card. I don't know if you knew that. This card rules Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign. So this is a major arcane. This is a large influence. It's a large looming card in this reading today. This is very important. And I think it's through this Hermit energy that you're going to reestablish this foundation, this core strength that you have, right? Your physical vitality, mental and emotional stability and well-being. Okay? You're going to do that through that Hermit energy and through this 3 of discs. Now, the 3 of discs, in the context of this triad, right? This trio of cards here. This is what you're going to do. This is the energy that you need to embrace. It's Hermit energy. And during that period of Hermit energy, it's going to be a 3 of discs and a 10 of discs. Okay, so the focus is going to be, like I said, on that physical vitality, physical well-being, the mental and emotional stability and well-being. Okay, and that is going to require this 3 of discs, this commitment, right? This kind of agreement with yourself, this oath, this resolve, this resolution, this promise to yourself that you're going to focus on this 10 of discs, that you're going to do everything in your power to make sure everything in your life, everything that you accept into your sphere, into your world, is going to contribute to this 10 of discs. And if it doesn't, it needs to go. So this really is the core of self-love and self-care here. That anything that does not contribute to this 10 of discs needs to go. And the 3 of discs is like this machine that's churning and working, and all of the parts are functioning together. Everything that goes into the machine is a vital component because you're churning out this 10, right? So if there's anything coming into your machine, into your world, into your aura, that is not a vital element, that's not a crucial component to keep building this 10 of discs, it needs to go. It's just going to upset the flow and the harmony of that machine, right? So during this Hermit period, it really is this kind of earth energy that is the focus, right? It really is kind of a very grounded, very practical kind of event, kind of energy scenario for you in this Hermit mode, in this Hermit energy. It's all about earth. It's all about manifesting this 10, this safety, security, stability, this health and vitality and wellness and well-being, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And the 3 is there as your commitment to your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, right? And anything in your life that does not contribute in a positive way to that well-being in those 3 areas needs to go. That is a very direct, very blunt statement from the tarot today. But let's take a look at this confirmation card to see what this could be. This could be an Empress. That would be a fantastic card to see right now. That would show you kind of coming into your own strength and having all of that abundance and vitality and joy that we usually have, but it seems like it's a little bit lacking lately. This could be something else like a 4 of discs, showing that you are on your way to creating that safety, security, and stability with that 4, right? Could be a 4 of cups too, because we had the 5 of cups, 5 of swords. So a 4 would be kind of a nice way to settle all of this out, but it's not going to be anything major. It's not a major confirmation. So let's see what this is. Okay, Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is better than the Empress even. This is showing that the seeds of your joy, your happiness, your love, your expression, creativity, just your overall fulfillment and well-being, right, is coming through this earth energy that we were talking about, that trio, that triad of earth cards that we're talking about. That is going to produce this seed of love and joy and abundance and pleasure and satisfaction and well-being and happiness, right? So it's about planting this seed of your joy and happiness, right? Planting this seed in that earth that we were talking about. So this is a wonderful confirmation, and this is showing that through this work that you're doing, you're well on your way to this happiness, to this renewal and rebirth of your emotional stability and well-being, that joy and pleasure that you're going to be experiencing. And it's going to be wonderful, but it's going to require that earth energy from you. It's going to require that focus on those earthy powers that we were talking about. I think that's the message today. And we're going to look at this a little bit more in the extended version, so you can become a member to the channel by clicking on the link in the description box. This was your weekly tarot forecast on Dove and Serpent Tarot.